Hello, I'm Channa Bankapur. I'm going to discuss my solution to the lead code problem permutations second. It's today's daily challenge in lead code. The problem definition is we have a collection of numbers and it might contain some duplicates. We need to return all possible unique permutations. The order doesn't matter in that. So let's take some examples. Suppose if the collection of numbers is say 1, 2, 3 here, and the possible permutations are 3 factorial, which is 6, right? That's what we know from combinatorics, right, or counting theory. Suppose we have a collection which looks like this: 1, 1 and 2. So that means 1 appears twice. There are duplicates, and even though there are 3 symbols, it is not the 3 factorial because of the repetitions. We need to divide by 2 factorial, and there are only 3 permutations of that, right, which we see in this example. uh, just to ensure we understood the problem properly, so I'm going to have one more set here or collection here which has 6 elements, where 1 repeats thrice and 2 repeats twice, and 3 there is only one occurrence. So instead of 6 factorial, we are going to have 6 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 3 factorial. That means instead of 720 being the number of permutations, we are going to have only 60 of them, right? So we need to generate those 60 permutations here in this example, right? So let's see how to generate these permutations. And a better method for this one is backtracking. So let's use backtracking as a strategy to find all permutations. There are other ways of doing it, but I think for this one, backtracking is appropriate. So I'm going to use this backtracking function called f, which is going to take all possibilities here. So this is the collection to start with. We have 1, 1, 2, and we need to build a permutation, right? So permutation obviously is going to be empty right now, and then we are going to build over the time. If you look at the possibilities in backtracking, we try exhaustively, right? Every possibility. It looks like there are actually 3 possibilities here, but there are actually only 2 distinct possibilities, because one appears twice. Whether you take the first one or the second one doesn't really matter. So if you choose one or if you choose two, these are the only 2 possibilities, and that is going to generate permutations. If you choose one, the remaining problem you need to solve is we are still left with one more one and then 2, and the first symbol in the permutation is 1, right? We are not yet done completely, so this is the first stage. On the other hand, if you choose 2, you're going to be left with 1 comma 1, and 2 is the first symbol in the permutation. So if you go further down in this backtracking way, let me just go in a depth first way. So again, I have choice of 1 and 2. So if I choose 1, I'm going to be left with only 2 here, and the permutation I have is 1 comma 1. And in this case, again, I have only one choice here. So if I go with that choice, I'm going to have f of a null set with 1, 1, 2 as a permutation, and that is a permutation which is a leaf in this kind of tree we are developing, which is a permutation we're going to consider. And then we're going to backtrack and then go back to this f of 2 comma 1, 1 comma 1. In that case, there is no other possibility, so we're going to backtrack again to this in f of 1 comma 2. In that case, what if I choose 2, right? So I'll be left with one more one, the last one, and the permutation we have now is 1 comma 2. It is in that particular order. So for the permutation, the order matters. And so the only option left out here is f of null set comma 1 2 1, right? Because that is the permutation we have. If I go on the right side here, even though there are 2 symbols, instead of we don't have 2 choices there. There is only one, because both of them are identical. So I'll be left with f of 1 comma 1, and then the permutation here is 2 1, right? So one more level, it's going to go down. So f of a null set with 2 comma 1 comma 1 as the permutation, right? So if you observe that, that's the leaf, and then when you backtrack, there are no other options. So the number of permutations we have found out is in all of these leaves. So this is the first permutation, 1 1 2, and then 1 2 1, and then 2 1 1, right? So each leaf is basically a feasible solution we get, and this kind of approach, and then whenever we reach leaf, we are going to add it to a result, right? So we need to keep track of the result and then do that, right? So this kind of tree, what we have is what is called state space tree. And this method is useful for backtracking and also some other methods of solving problems like dynamic programming and all right. So how do we code this? We are going to have this possibilities here, but among the possibilities, if there are any repetitions, we treat them as only one possibility at that level for trying out these children of the root in this case. That's why if I keep it sorted, things are going to be easier, because anything that is repeating, they're going to be next to each other. So I need to consider only one of the occurrences of that symbol, if not all of them. If I consider all of them, I'm going to have like a permutations where permutations in the case of all the symbols are distinct, right? But I don't want it that way. So that's why I'm going to keep it sorted and then make sure we do that, right? So this is the method I'm going to use. Let's see, let's go to the code and then see how we can actually implement that, right? Otherwise, the whole of the method is already kind of clear. So if you look at the code here, so I have sorted all these, the collection of nums in the beginning here. And after that, I have a result, which is empty result right now. Result is clearly vector of vectors. And the permutation that is being built down the recursion, starting from root of the state space tree to a leaf, is being, kept track in this permutation. When we reach a leaf, we have a permutation to use, and then we're going to add it to the result. So I'm using these possibilities as a Boolean vector to see whether each of those symbols are going to be open for actually choosing or not at that level, right? So obviously that has the same size as the nums array, but it is going to be true to start with because they are now possibilities. And once I use it, it's going to be not a possibility, right? We should not use it down the tree. So I'll call this backtracking method. So look at this nums it is going to use. Nums will never change. Permutation is the one which is partially built solution, and possibilities is kind of a vector which is going to see whether something is useful or not. We could use some kind of set also here, but I'm just using possibilities as a vector so that it's easier for me to use with an iterator. So results is more like a global variable that is going to keep track of the whole result. So when I come out of this, result is what I'm going to print out, right? Backtracking method itself doesn't return anything explicitly, but result is more like an out variable. And possibility and permutations are also reference variables, so that we need to pass it down the tree, right? We don't want to copy every time. That's the reason. Otherwise, we could have used it as just a parameter. All right. So now look at the backtracking method. If permutation size, because permutation is a vector which is empty, and then in every level we are adding one symbol. When the size of the permutations is same as num size, that means we have reached a leaf, right? This is an indication of a leaf, and the permutation is a valid one now. That's why I'm going to add it to the result, right? This is where I'm going to add to the result. This is a leaf, as we have seen earlier. If it is not a leaf, we are going to go over all possibilities, right? Or actually the whole vector of the possibilities. Obviously, if it is a possibility, then only I'm going to add it. But to avoid, adding, trying out multiple possibilities within the same symbol, I'm using this trick here. Right? Look at this one. If there is a previous, symbol, and if that is a possibility, that means we must have used it in the previous iteration of one of the previous iterations of in the for loop. And if the previous symbol and the current symbol are same, that means it is repeating. So what happens is, suppose if there are two ones, right? If this is what we already tried out in the previous iteration, we don't want to try out on this one again because it's the same possibility. What if there are three of them and this is already false? That means this was already tried out earlier, not in the previous iteration of for loop, but in the previous state in the state space tree. But this is true. That means this is a possibility we have tried out, right, in the previous iteration. So in that case also, I'm going to skip this. So we want to only try out the first one, which is true, in that sequence of same symbols, right? That is why I'm using this trick here. Otherwise, this part is kind of pretty straightforward. So I push this ith symbol into the permutation. That is the permutation that is being built, and I'm going to mark that ith symbol as false, so that I don't want to try it again in that same stack or same path from root to a leaf. and I'll call backtracking method here. So to with those changes, and when I come out of that, these two things are going to be essentially what is the thing of, what is the hallmark of backtracking, where I'm going to make this I as possibility again, because in the sibling paths we want to try this again, right, as a possibility. So I'll also remove that permutation symbol I added in line number 25 here, right? So that's what I'm popping back here. This works in a stack way, so I just have to pop back, and it's going to pop only that symbol. All right. So that way it's going to generate all permutations here. This is the classic backtracking way of doing it, right? Let me submit and show you it is accepting. It's going to accept it, right? Because we need to generate all possibilities, and then we are not doing it inefficiently in terms of, trying out something which is not a permutation. We are skipping all of those things which are basically going to lead to repeated permutations early in this tree. So this is probably the most efficient way of doing it, right? If you try out every possible permutation, thinking all of them are distinct symbols, and then if you deduplicate based on repetitions, that is going to be inefficient. So we are not doing it that way. So this idea essentially helps you what is called branch pruning. So branch pruning is done early on in the state space tree, right? That's why this should be efficient. All right. So let me know if you are approached in a different way. If you return the result in instead of using it as a global variable kind of thing, let me know that also. That's also a way of doing it. Just to avoid copying, making a lot of copies, I'm just using one kind of a global variable which is passed down as a reference variable, and modifying there itself, right? This is probably just for the tuning purposes, but if you want to keep it clean so that backtracking method is going to return result, you can always use that, right? So that's more of a head recursive way of doing it. All right. So let me know if you have any other approaches or any questions in the comments below. Otherwise, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And because this is backtracking, along with this video going into the playlist of November Lead Coding Challenge, it will also go into this backtracking and dynamic programming concepts and solutions. So make sure you watch some few other videos of similar type, and get the concept better. All right. I hope you like the video. Thanks for watching.